Hi guys and welcome back to the Bike Cave. Today we are going to discuss about the maintenance protocol you can follow in order to keep the XC-cycling slave cylinders in their best working condition for as long as possible. The XC-cycling slave cylinders have been designed with ease of maintenance and repairability in mind, and so if you take care of them, they'll perform perfectly for a very long time. Before we begin discussing about the maintenance protocol of the XC-cycling slave cylinders, I'd like to mention that I've created a very comprehensive manual for the XC-cycling braking system that includes everything you need to know about it and its components. In this manual, each product is being broken down and thoroughly analyzed so as to allow you to have the best possible experience and help you ensure that everything works as perfectly and as smoothly as possible. Also, the manual is available only via the XC-cycling website, which means that it's dynamic and will be adapted considering the issues you may face in the future as more people use the slave cylinders and the rest of the products of the XC-cycling braking system. So once you get any of the XC-cycling products, feel free to contact us via email or direct message to any of our social media accounts in order to discuss any issue that you may face in the future and it's not already covered in this manual. Having discussed about the XC-cycling braking system manual, let's discuss a bit about the suggested maintenance protocol of the XC-cycling slave cylinders. So the maintenance procedures that you can follow to properly maintain the XC-cycling slave cylinders can be divided into two levels. The first level refers to the routine maintenance and includes the pre-ride checks and some minor maintenance procedures to ensure that your brakes are ready for the next ride, while the second level refers to the comprehensive maintenance of the slave cylinders and includes the complete disassembly and reassembly of the slave cylinders to make them feel and perform as good as new. So before each ride you should fully engage your brakes and make sure that the hydraulic system is well bled and there are no damaged or leaky hoses and fittings. This will also allow you to feel the responsiveness of the lever and observe for any inconsistencies along the travel range of the lever. In case that during the daily pre-ride check a decrease is observed in the responsiveness of the slave cylinder pistons, you can do some tricks to help you fix this issue temporarily and avoid having sticky pistons during your next training session. However, keep in mind that once this responsiveness of your brake starts to decrease, you have to schedule your next full maintenance job. Sticky pistons are mainly caused when dirt and dust particles are introduced in the area between the pistons and the respective cylinders. These dirt and dust particles can obstruct the smooth movement of the pistons, and this can be prevented by keeping the slave cylinders clean. The frequency that this one can happen mainly depends on the type of terrain you ride, as training on terrain with a lot of loose dirt can accelerate the reappearance of this issue. The main trick that you can do to temporarily fix sticky pistons is to properly clean your slave cylinders. To do so, you have to remove the wheel and the brake pads and use tissues, cotton buds or brushes to clean the area around the pistons of the slave cylinders. You can also spray a light oil such as WD-40 to loosen any persistent dirt while engaging and disengaging your brakes so as to make the piston move as they are getting cleaned. When everything is free of dirt and dust and both slave cylinder pistons are moving together, use a clean tissue to wipe off any oil from the slave cylinders until they are well dried and free of excess oil, as this can contaminate your brake pads or the rims. However, when a more comprehensive maintenance cannot be avoided or postponed anymore, there are two main reasons that can lead you to schedule a complete maintenance job on the XC-cycling braking system. The first reason is due to the fact that brake fluid and especially water seeps out of the seals of the slave cylinders and the lever as the brakes engage and disengage, and this can be observed as the lever travel distance decreases over time and no lever adjustment can fix it. This one can be fixed just by rebleeding the hydraulic system, as no full disassembly is required. The second one, as it has been already mentioned, is whenever the performance and the response of the XC-cycling braking system start to decrease and your pistons start to get a bit sticky and no temporary solutions can fix them. This can be solved only by disassembling the XC-cycling braking system, thoroughly cleaning all of its components and reassembling everything. If you want to check out the appropriate procedures to disassemble and reassemble the slave cylinders, you can check out the relevant video and you can find the relevant link in the description below. Also, if you need more information about the maintenance procedures of the XC-cycling braking system, you can check out the comprehensive service manual by visiting the XC-cycling website. Moreover, if there are questions that are not answered by these videos or the service manual, feel free to contact XC-cycling via email or by sending a direct message to our social media accounts. Before we close this video, there is another thing that we have to discuss about, and it has to do with the end of life of the XC-cycling slave cylinders. Although they have been designed with longevity in mind, and they are fully repairable, the time to replace them will eventually come. This time will come only when the housing of the slave cylinder gets damaged, as every other component can be replaced. This means that you can salvage the spare parts of your old slave cylinders and use them as replacement parts for your new slave cylinders. Otherwise, in case that you want to discard your old slave cylinders, it has to be mentioned that all parts are made out of recyclable materials, and so you can take everything apart and send it to proper recycling facilities for its material. Also, if you cannot find relevant recycling facilities for its material, you can send the slave cylinders back to us and we'll manage to properly recycle them as part of our Take Back program. That's it for today, guys, and I hope that you've got a better idea of the recycling slave cylinders and their maintenance protocol. However, feel free to ask anything about them in the comment section below and I'll be pleased to answer your questions. Also, don't forget the giveaway that will be active until the final release of the recycling slave cylinders. So check out the latest post on our social media accounts to learn more about it and how to get a chance to win a pair of recycling slave cylinders. Thanks so much for subscribing and watching, and make sure that you check out the giveaway that is currently running on Instagram. Bye!